greet you all students of third year. This is paper first, and we are almost towards the concluding part of this famous celebrated romantic comedy written by William Shakespeare, and it justifies his remarkable, tremendous theatrical skills. It unfolds the worldly wisdom on the one hand and also throws light on the significance of theme, plot construction, characterization, and we have famous scenes also, just as we discussed earlier, trial scene, which is, the scene of justice, court scene, and the establishment of justice in the world. So we have metaphor of justice, which is the pivotal point throughout. So it is relevant even today. This is the, focal point, students, you must always remember. And the famous celebrated scene, trial scene, as we, discussed in much detail. So we have worldly wisdom, treasure of maxims also here, in which, the famous speech on mercy, Portia's famous celebrated, you must always try to memorize it by heart, and which will be beneficial to you throughout your life. So here we have now the justification of remarkable theatrical skills. The famous Act 5, it symbolizes social harmony, establishment of social harmony in the world through the picture he has presented in particular act. So we have, on the one hand, strengthening human relations, and of course it is, very famous romantic comedy. So we have, unity of action, and how, beautifully all the scenes are interwoven, integrated with each other. So the point is that we have certain literary elements that I would like to highlight today. Now, these are, in this romantic setting, we have atmosphere, in the beginning, we have in this Act 5, we have, Lorenzo Jessica episode, it begins with that. So we have a very, very beautiful romantic setting in which moonlit scene. But see, prior to that, throughout this famous romantic comedy, we have, the element of surprise, sense of expectation. Now, expectation from the point of view of characters, just like, say, Greciano, we have Bassanio, Antonio, Celerino, Serenio, and Portia, Nerissa. So an expectation on the part of readers and audience. Yes, mind you. Then we have element of suspense, as we, witnessed in the famous celebrated scene, trial scene, Court of Justice. And this is, court of justice. Whenever we talk about court of justice, it is court of justice of God himself, herself. So the point is that he had, the specific purpose also. Now, obviously, comical impact. Now, what is the specific purpose of romantic comedy? Just to create comical impact, make you laugh, creating laughter, hilarious impact. And see, if you give a smile to anybody, I think this is one of the most pious tasks in the world, giving a smile to the people. So of course, this is one of the important reasons, but at the same time, it is treasure of worldly wisdom. This is the point here I would like to highlight here. Now, the notion of assumption also. See, if you presume and assume, then your, say, a creative bent of mind, critical bent of mind. So this is in a way vetting it, the mindset, human psyche, and say the shaping the consciousness. See, if such kind of say innermost feelings you have, and you develop sort of affinity with certain character, the kind of emotions you have at that time, and you are moved, and some scenes and some you develop a sort of sympathy for the characters, like good noble character like Antonio. So I mean, this is purification of emotions also, and this is one of the remarkable, tremendous and exquisite purposes of literature. And now when we talk about all these elements, surprise, we have expectation, suspense in trial scenes and in other scenes also, what would happen to this noble good character, and how Bassanio, he was worried. You develop sort of affinity with that character. This is the point. It's not that at superficial level you just go through the scene and say these are certain dialogues and you just reproduce an examination. What is the basic purpose of studying this famous romantic comedy is the focal point. And then, see, now here again, the significant point is that affinity among characters, now characters obviously, and the connectivity between characters and audience, readers. Yes, this is exactly the tremendous theatrical skill which Shakespeare has, and throughout, in all his comedies and tragedies. So when we talk about theatrical skill, comical impact also, I think it is a must to throw light on dramatic significance of Ring episode. Ring, in this episode, you would, enjoy studying this and enjoy reading, rather, visualizing it. It's a, we have dramatic impact in that, and it's a theatrical skill, and it is meant for a stage performance. So obviously you have mental images, and you see the remarkable imaginative vision on the part of author, and at the same time readers, audience as well. So the significance of, now we have on the one hand comical effect of it and irony of situation. Now when we talk about Act 5, see, here I would like to discuss one important point, because some critics, they have raised the question. Now what is the question? That whether or not this particular act is at all necessary. Which act? Act 5. Now from the point of view of say these two, comical effect, irony of situation, and of course harmony. And when we talk about harmony and reconciliation, plot construction, characterization, it is very, very significant. Now here one of the important questions that can be put up in examination is the significance of Ring episode. So I think it is really necessary for the students to really have better idea about the importance of this and our dramatic significance of it. Now try to understand first of all what is dramatic significance of Ring episode. Now in this we have entire court. Do you remember that especially Bassanio, Antonio and Gratiano, they are very keen to present a gift to generous and genius Portia. Do you remember that? As a token of gratitude. And Portia also, first see, we have impact there. Which kind of impact? Yes, hilarious impact. When Portia, she is in this, and now irony is very important here, irony of situation. And we discussed this in much detail, irony, dramatic irony. The meaning, and when I discussed it earlier, that in which, the words spoken by the character and differ in meaning from the meaning he or she implies. and for this is the verbal irony, and also in irony of situation in which we have reversal of situation. Sometimes it happens just opposite to the character's expectation. Therefore, the sense of expectation and assumption is also important from the point of view of your brushing of your mind, and see the shaping the consciousness of mind and purification of your emotions from that point of view, and in order to develop connectivity. Now, connectivity among characters, audience, and author. So this is, I think, one of the most prominent forces in any Shakespearean drama or Shakespearean romantic comedy. Now, from this point of view, see, here are some important points, and that, Bassanio first, now how he was hesitant when, Portia, she insists on that. Now, you see, this for your better understanding, students, you can understand these are certain points. See, and the dramatic, now what is dramatic significance of it? See, this is connecting link between Bond story and casket story. And from the examination point of view, it is very important. And even when you write plot construction, development of plot, even in characterization, or say when you highlight the theme of disguise, when Portia, she is in disguise, and even when, dramatic irony, when you discuss this important element reflected in Shakespearean romantic comedies, even at that time, I mean, in so many questions, it is very important to have better idea about it. So this scene creates, a great laughter and hilarious effect. And at the same time, why it is important dramatically? Because what happened in trial scene, there is, though paradoxically it is a romantic comedy, yet we have atmosphere of tragic gloom, what would happen, and the suspense, and how Shylock all the time throughout, Shakespeare, he in a way deliberately, applies this technique of suspense. When, Shylock, he is very keen to take pound of flesh from Antonio's, say, body and corporeal frame at that time, so some kind of, tragic tension, tragic gloom was there. So, through this aspect, I mean, through this dramatic skill and theatrical skill, it is a must to, have to just introduce some kind of, a characterization, some kind of, comical impact. Through characterization in a way, Portia, she is in disguise, and now she appears as in trial scene as Dr. Balthazar, but Bassanio and other characters, now nobody recognizes her at that time. So irony, and then she insists on now that she would take that ring only. So Bassanio first, he was hesitant, and now so this kind of some we should not say this is a sort of, as some critics point out, as a complicated and all that. No, it is all the time it gives some kind of comical impact, and on the part of audience, they really enjoy this scene. So these are certain important points. What are important points in this romantic comedy? That trial scene, so just to nullify the tragic gloom, is the first point. Second, it is connecting link between Bond story. And how it is connecting link? Because these characters, Portia and Nerissa, earlier, they indirectly or directly, they were connected with casket story, but now they have become integral part of Bond story. Yes, this is the pivotal point of Ring episode. It is not superficial at all. So try to comprehend this significant aspect, this significant force. Now, when we talk about, say, the Ring episode, now here another, reason I would like to, third reason, that after the elopement of Jessica, now we would not have the chance of seeing how Jessica and Lorenzo, they, even these two most say daring and adventurous in this play throughout this. So I don't know, much time has to be given to them also from the point of view of Lorenzo Jessica episode. So this act 5 is important from the point of view of, now you just have a look of act 5. As earlier I told you, this is I think easier way to understand, or this is the final part, and the it is significant from this point of view. See, some we have a remarkable conclusion, and yes, the point of unity of action is very important. Several scenes, incidents, events, all of them are beautifully interwoven in the final act. So this is significant from the point of view of reflection of Shakespeare's theatrical and dramatic skills on the one hand, and also strengthening human relations. And then we have another point that I would like to here highlight is that, see, all these union among all the characters, and strengthening for instance the human values also. Yes, I mean when we have comical impact, and we have romantic setting, and how gradual development. See, this is act 5. Only in the earlier, you must have witnessed, you must have noticed and visualized that in act 1, act 2nd, act 3rd, 4th, whatever, we have several scenes. But this act 5, it gives the solution of all the problems as a whole, because we have this is the meeting point and connecting link. This is the in which we have drawn the conclusion. Now when we talk about the conclusion, what is the purpose of this? Students of 3rd year, it is a must for you to have deeper understanding of the notion of conclusion. See, when we commence any task, we are going towards the path of, say, any kind of, say, we have some aspiration, we may have some kind of mission, or say any kind of inner desire, or sometimes we may have some ambition also. I mean, students from the point of view of people in general. So starting point and then gradual step by step, the purpose is to reach the destination. So now critics, when I talk about the opinion of critics, when they pointed out that no, it's just trial scene. It marks the consummation, it marks the height of, say, all the significant aspects. So it reaches the in a way extreme extent of solution. Then what is the necessity of this act? But no, there are certain reasons that I have just mentioned from the point of view of comical impact, 1. Second, just to nullify the tragic gloom of trial scene, and of course from the point of view of Lorenzo Jessica episode, much time has to be given, and yes, bridging the gap. So what happened off the stage, and Portia, here we have revelation of certain important issues, certain important matters. She appears, her celebrated appearance in famous trial scene, and she informed Lorenzo Jessica and others that she has gone for meditation and for prayers, so some spiritual bent of mind, and then revelation of important matter. Oh, she was the person who saved the important life of Antonio, Bassanio's the most intimate friend. So the pious, noble task she has done. So her benevolence, her generosity, her nobility. So from the character, from the point of view of characterization, and especially character of Portia, and even other characters, yes, even Nerissa's character, it is also important in Gratiano's character. So this act, it begins with Lorenzo Jessica. It's famous moonlit scene, romantic setting, in which they are discussing the beauty of nature. So in Shakespearean romantic comedies, we have, say, a reflection of many other important dimensions, forces, like love for nature, and how nature, it plays the vital role in developing, shaping, strengthening human psyche. From that point of view also, human consciousness. Okay, so this is the the way the dramatist, playwright, he commences. And this beginning is also very, very significant. It has great universal appeal with his love for nature and music also. I mean, these two aspects, and from that point of view also, this act is important from social harmony, from the point of view of love for nature, and the connectivity, yes, affinity, development of affinity among readers, audience, characters, and yes, of course, the author. We will continue. Thank you.